Welcome to episode 47 of 50 Ways to Succeed at Work, where you hear stuff about ways to succeed even the most well-intentioned colleagues, advisors, careers officers and HR departments may never get around to mentioning. This episode's about you being undefended, why being approachable can supercharge your search for success. Let's drop into a work scene that really happened, only the names have been changed. Miriam is around 25 and sitting hunched over the desk as usual. She looks up to find Jake, a rare visitor, standing there expectantly. Since most of her work colleagues seldom drop by, she wondered, will this time be different? Jake does not beat about the bush and gets right to the point. "Hi, Miriam," he says, then a bit more tentatively. I could do with some of your help for using Excel, and I know you're brilliant at it." Miriam sighs loudly. It's an interruption that she could do without. Without looking up, she nods and clicks on her keyboard to call up Excel. She quickly works through his problem. He thanks her for the advice and starts to leave. Curious, Miriam calls after him, "Glad to have helped. I don't get many visitors here." Jake stops in his tracks, and after a moment he turns and looks straight at her. "Do you want to know why, Miriam?" "I guess they don't need my sort of expertise," she answers. "No, that's not right at all." "Well then, Jake, indulge me. Why don't they?" "You want the truth? Are you sure?" She nods, and Jake answers, "I hate to say this, Miriam, but you always seem so unapproachable." What happened next was an invaluable heart-to-heart between the two. Miriam at last learned what she was not doing to make herself approachable. Being approachable at work means people think, "I can connect with you and feel comfortable, and you'll be accessible to me," or words to that effect. They're confident that you'll resolve my needs as well as your own, and we'll get somewhere positive in our interaction. Being approachable is known to be a critical aspect of building good relationships with your colleagues. It also underpins long-term success. To be approachable, you're undefended and happy to break down barriers and build an environment of trust. If you're undefended at work, what exactly would that look like? For instance, if you saw an undefended person, what would you see or not see? For a start, no grumpy looks, lack of eye contact, failure to smile, or a show of impatience. You'd see the person lifting their bowed head from their smartphone for more than a few seconds. You probably know the basics of being approachable, but let's go through them just to be sure. Number 1 is you smile at people, and through that, invite them to interact with you. Number 2, you give eye contact so that you always encourage people to approach you. Number 3, you show positive body language by being angled towards them and not away from the other person. Number 4, you look up from your work, desk or screen, and give the other person your full attention. Number 5, you remain still rather than fidgeting, which sends all sorts of negative signals. Number 6, you nod often to show the other person they've got your full attention. And lastly, number 7, you convey your positive outlook and readiness to engage. I've listed these in the show notes of this podcast, and you can also find them in the transcript at the podcast website 50ways.site. 2 other ways to be undefended are also worth your attention, and these are showing empathy and compassion and the technique of mirroring. I'll be dealing with them separately in Series 2 of 50 Ways to Succeed, which is due to start soon. If you want your co-workers to talk to you, make it easy for them. Once you've shown that you welcome the conversation, you'll earn their trust. They'll be more likely to talk to you about their concerns, and that's better than never knowing what people think or feel. To her credit, Miriam absorbed the negative feedback, which at first shocked her. Somehow it never crossed her mind that simply not smiling at colleagues was a complete turn-off. Do you want to be a hit with your colleagues? Most employees believe that key personality traits, such as those I've been talking about, make a person more likable in the workplace. These include being positive, approachable, and having a sense of humour. It's a fact that 2 out of 3 workers feel that people who are disliked struggle to get ahead at work. So, what action am I proposing? Well, first, make sure that you don't come across at work as a defended person. Second, practice the known techniques such as eye contact and body language and make it easy for people to talk to you. And third, today, try to make it easy for people to talk to you and give them your full attention so that they know you'll listen with empathy and respect. And my takeaway from all of this? Take seriously your need to be seen as accessible and easy to talk to as an important part of your search for success at work. You've been listening to an episode of Andrew's 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. For more episodes, subscribe free to my regular weekly podcasts. You can catch up on past ones at the50ways.site, where you can also become a foundation member with access to e-learning units, transcripts, further reading links, and the forum where you can ask questions, share problems, and join a growing community of people who seriously want to succeed at work. Thanks for listening, and bye for now until next week.